outkill, outplay their opponents a lot of the time. That's what they like to do. But we've seen different styles from them as well being played from time to time.
And as we're speaking, we're already in the draft for game number 1. We will be jumping into the Tomb of the Spider Queen, and the Leoric being banned. Now, from any team, no big surprise in the current meta of Heroes of the Storm.
Now, the ban on Leoric is very intelligent. Tomb of the Spider Queen, you always have to consider the power of lane clear, and Skeletal Swing really does excel at that. They're trying to force Team Dignitas to ban out Johanna, but with the Uther ban, it's pretty likely that Na'Vi will go for that first pick Johanna because of Night Takes Pawn at level 1.
And also, if you let Dignitas go for Leoric or even Johanna herself, we've seen them with probably the best by far Asmodan in Europe on ADRD.
Right.
He's won games with some incredible stacks.
Yeah, and what makes banning Leoric and Uther really good too is like those heroes are considered to be top tier at the moment. And if you pick them early, it is relatively neutral, like what the rest of your comp is going to be. It could be anything, and it's really hard for the enemy to make a read. So banning out these heroes could potentially raise the hope to make things easier to read.
Oh, okay, so prioritizing the Kael'thas over Johanna, which is not a trend we've seen specifically on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, well, it's not that uncommon though. I mean, because Kael'thas also lane clear. That's something he really does excel at. So it's a perfectly intelligent pick, prioritizing just the assassins, like you said. And we already talked about Muradin. They're flexible with that hero. Maybe they want that warrior more. So, oh wow,
yeah.
Okay.
Taking the guns.
Yeah, this is a little bit interesting. I mean, now we're seeing instantly from game 1 a lot more counterplay in the draft than we have throughout the weekend. Because throughout the weekend, it was like, all right, well, Leoric's banned. That means we get that monopoly on Johanna as that wave clear and crowd control warrior. But now it's not the case, taking that Muradin away from Kael'thas. Pretty interesting to see from Dignitas, but definitely a lot of research here.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the Kael'thas pick, though. You know, Na'Vi, they've got JPL. They're a French assassin player who's one of the last 2 players here to join with Alex the Prodigy, this team. And he's improved so much. His placement with Kael'thas, his gravity lapses, everything. He's always on point, and I think it will show here once again in this game.
Ooh, double warrior pick at the start of the draft, trying to lock in that role. Considering that Na'Vi already spent a ban on Leoric, this is a very intelligent pick.
And this is a very strong duo indeed. If you consider ranged assassins like Raynor, who are very strong here as well. And you have that blind from Johanna, you have the potential attack speed slow from Muradin if he goes for that reverberation talent at level 1. So I really like the solid front line that they're building up.
Yeah, so I was about to ask, I mean, what really does that leave for them? Because the other theme we've seen throughout, I mean, all the Heroes of the Storm is crowd control is king. You want to have crowd control, and you want to have at least 2 to 3 heroes with it so that you can always chain them together. I guess Arthas is left there that you can chain it with Kael'thas, but of course not as ideal as someone like Muradin or Johanna.
Yeah, both teams definitely putting some good effort, though, into, you know, this kind of crowd control. And look at his Tyrande here, one of the favorite picks here of Na'Vi since, I guess, the down on time. They've always been very good with it, and especially on this kind of map, you know, rotations on Tomb of the Spider Queen, they're pretty much, I was going to say everything. They are very, very important, you know, going from lane to lane, trying to catch somebody and killing them is going to be key. And Na'Vi, they're just so good with it.
And that's the name of the game with this entire trio that we have so far. I mean, Sentinel, so useful for getting eyes on the opponents, finding out where the location is, because you can just shoot it across the map for vision. Then, like you mentioned, Lunar Flare, the additional stun, the additional lockdown, paired with Hunter's Mark, you can just blow up any hero. It doesn't matter if they're a warrior, very quickly.
Yeah, and Tyrande is such a useful hero overall. I mean, she's able to reveal areas, she's able to stun people, she's a very good gang squad, or she forms a very good gang squad with Arthas that can secure an early lead. And talking about an early lead, which helps you then later at level 10. And Sundragosa potentially, who knows?
Look at this with the band.
Wow, so targeted. I mean, take carries away from Bakery, but Malfurion makes perfect sense. When you have roots with Arthas, so much lockdown, you're going to want Malfurion. And
is the most picked support of Na'Vi too. We saw that in the preview.
I know, we were just talking about it, and then they come out and ban it. They took the Muradin away after they saw the Kael'thas, and then, of course, Navi's like, you thought you were going to carry him just because we picked Tyrande. No, we're going to take that away from you. We don't want to deal with that Divine Palm.
These were really fast bans as well in such an important game. You can tell these guys, they've thought all night here about this.
Yeah, coming in very prepared.
So now Rhaegar becomes kind of a higher priority for a lot of teams. You consider just the safe pick that he is, because when it comes to someone like Lili, it becomes quite dangerous to try to use cups. There's a lot of stuns on both teams, so Lili pretty uncommon here. And the support options get quite strict here.
And Rhaegar, you mentioned it, Jake, he seems to be the best pick right now, or one of the best logical senses maybe, but his stats haven't really been, you know, convincing
they're horrible,
throughout the storm. Yeah,
you can say.
I didn't want to say that bad.
But it is what it is, right, my friend? I mean, a fact is a fact. They're pretty bad.
It's true for NA as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Rhaegar's win rate is actually abysmal right now. So that's why we don't see him too often. But the late Zeratul pick, I find that really, I mean, that's something that's been a trend all tournament long.
Absolutely, and Snitch is actually, he's been a huge part of Dignitas' success here in a lot of the games that he's been playing Zeratul on, so it makes perfect sense to go for it.
And there's that Rhaegar you guys mentioned. Yeah, it is interesting to see Zeratul kind of slip through the cracks this far into the draft, but at the same time, of course, we kind of justify why that might be happening early on.
And that might be something that Na'Vi has an edge over Dignitas because they can still, you know, pick something exotic. You never know what they were going to pick. They showed it yesterday, picking the Brightwing as some sort of surprising factor as well.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the Brightwing here.
It could happen.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
Brightwing comes back in. Na'Vi winning 2 of the games with Brightwing yesterday.
I like it.
The Brightwing hype is real. Let's hope they don't get crushed.
The crowd likes it. I mean, they showed good games with it yesterday. It's still not that common, especially in Europe. So Brightwing coming out for Na'Vi. We'll see how effectively they can use that hero.
Any chance we see a Kerrigan here? You guys think in these setups?
I mean,
or?
Alex Deproci is known for his Kerrigan.
Yeah.
It's one of his most solid heroes. He's a really good melee assassin player, and if you've played against him, you know how deadly his Kerrigan is.
And Brightwing pairs really well with someone like Kerrigan. As she dives in with Ravage, you can blink heal in for the assistance, polymorph a single target to buy extra time or an extra window for that hero. And just such big plays can be made. If you're worried about the ancestral heal, you can deny it. There it is.
That's exactly what they played yesterday against Juju. And the shield's coming up from Brightwing with her improved phase shift. It's so massive, especially during the later stages of the game.
Yeah,
Dignitas, they need a damage dealer here. Who do you guys feel might be the best option? I guess Raynor, Hammer, Nazebo here are all options.
Where's Jaina? Jaina has been neglected this entire draft. Like, it's actually insane. So she's still such a very strong pick. If they want a little bit more safety in the early game, they might go for Vala because of Vault. Falstad's so uncommon on this battleground. I don't think we'll see him. Nazebo, another option, but I still like the Jaina pick the most.
Yeah, and talking about that Kerrigan going back, of course, also Kerrigan and Arth is kind of a known, tried and true combo ever since the birth of Heroes of the Storm. That's something that I think one of the first combos that people figured out was like, oh, Arthas and Kerrigan, we're just going to roam, we're just going to be that gang squad, and we're going to take down everyone. Now on the other side, like you guys mentioned, Jaina hasn't come up, but to some extent, I'm really excited about that because I think what we're seeing now is given that they've reached BlizzCon, given that they're top 2, they're suddenly being like, all right, now we have to play with a lot more respect when it comes to the draft, not just about what we want, but taking things away, denying things from the other team. What's that last pick going to be? Jaina, and crowd is excited about this draft. I mean, all the reason to be. We've got Rhaegar there. Can he bring that win rate back up? But then there's that Brightwing coming back in for Na'Vi.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of weight on Bakery's shoulders here. He has to land those ancestral healings perfectly against all that engage, against all that burst damage coming from the Kerrigan. He's definitely going to have to put up a show.
Almost every single hero here in both of these lineups has either a stun or a disable, and actually Na'Vi in this case has more than their opponents.
I mean, it's Tomb of the Spider Queen, so the name of the game is team fights, and both teams drafted for that. A lot of denial picks, seeing the Murd in here for Dignitas, trying to take that away with the synergy that exists with Kael'thas. Both teams really did their homework for this grand finals.
This is a very exciting way to start the finals. Ladies and gentlemen, before we jump in, we also have a quick special guest out in the audience with Vincere. We'd love to hear what he has to say about the draft.
Well, thank you, and I am here with MF Pellytime, and well, he is joining us for the final of the European Championship. The teams, they just picked their heroes, and well, I want to know, what do you think of this draft?
Well, last night we saw a ton of work coming out of Na'Vi with Tyrande and Malfurion. They were able to just lay down tons of crowd control, and I think that's why Dignitas banned Furion here today. Tomb of the Spider Queen, very small map, so we're going to see a lot of roaming around. I think Arthas and Kerrigan are going to be very strong together at locking down targets. Now, Dignitas did take the Jaina pick, which is very safe throughout the majority of the game. Really, it's looking pretty even to me right now. Brightwing, to me, a little weird to pick up, but when most other supports are banned out, that's kind of what you have to do. So this could really go either way, and I'm excited to watch.
Well, me too, so let's get this started, and let's go to our commentators, Calaris and Grubby. Take it away.
Both of these teams have already qualified themselves for BlizzCon, but now there is the difference of $40,000 against $24,000 for first place and second place respectively.
Yeah, difference of $14,000 and also the right to call themselves the European champion, the European champion representative that will be holding up Europe's pride when they're contesting with all the other best teams in the world from regions like Korea, Asia Pacific and North America.
Yeah, that's true. And obviously, this is your potential to be crowned the first ever Europe champion of Heroes of the Storm. That is a big title to take away. A lot of people are touting Natus Vincere as the favourites here to be able to take this. Look at the road that they have taken so far through this tournament, Grubby. It's been absolutely fantastic. But we will be starting things here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, a map which consists of 3 lanes. And the objective, you got to collect those gems, man, to summon those web weavers.
Yeah, this is a very knife fight kind of map where there is very little space to move around sometimes, lots of potential to trap each other. There are some objectives that are very high priority where it gets really risky for both teams to be fighting. If you can turn in enough gems, you can summon the web weavers here and they will fight for your side and push in all of the opponent's lanes.
Yeah, it can be devastating to deal with, and sometimes we've even seen games hinge on the fact that people have control of those turning points throughout the entirety of the game. Sometimes teams don't even get a chance to get themselves the web weavers if their opponents are good enough about controlling those positions.
Aggressive compositions thrive even more on this map, and therefore the Kerrigan pick is certainly not a surprise. They're going to try and get an early game advantage and hold on to it throughout the mid game into the late.
All right, well, we are getting ready to go here in live from Prague for the grand final here of the European Road to BlizzCon for Heroes of the Storm. What a tournament it has been so far as Team Dignitas and Na'Vi take to the battlefield. And we find out who is going to be the champion. To the left-hand side, it is Team Dignitas with ADRD on Jaina, Zarmani playing Muradin, Athero going to be playing Johanna, Snitch is on Zeratul, and finally Bakery is on Rhaegar. Then over to the right-hand side, we have our red team with Na'Vi. Eternal is going to be playing Kerrigan. Splendor is on Brightwing. Shrimpy on Tyrande. JPL on Kael'thas. And we have Alex the Pro G on Arthas.
And as we see them gathering up the gate with the gates about to open, we're going to see if both teams feel comfortable to set a trap for each other. But there's one significant advantage here for Natus Vincere as that Sentinel finds its mark. They have the advantage of information with Tyrande scouting out the map for the opponent's movement. And look what they're doing here. They're blocking the minions. This is a tried and true strategy where you make sure that the minion waves meet closer to the red side of the map. Na'Vi will be able to fight closer to their own gate as both will be trying to clear the lane.
Very, very nicely done. It's the opportunity for them to try and jump on someone as they extend over to the side of the map. Because obviously you want to clear this lane up first because it gets very, very close. Already a lot of damage going on. Oh, that first blood already! Muradin ends up going down. A great little bit of focus fire from Na'Vi.
Yeah, Na'Vi, a very lethal composition here. They don't have much in the way of warriors and frontline protection, but they are lethal. And when they choose a target to take out, it can happen so fast. Even for a tanky warrior like Muradin, this happened too fast for him. And the first takedown to Na'Vi.
Yeah, very good coordination there. Really, really well done. That gives them a slight advantage in the early game in terms of that experience. Of course, early game kills only account for like 2 or 3 minions worth of experience, but still, that gives the mental edge here to Na'Vi.
Yeah, you're going to be seconds faster to your next new talent at important levels like level 4 and level 7. And that little bit of advantage can be enough at this level to exploit into an even greater advantage.
All right, so as we're looking at the talents here across level 1, not too much craziness here, kind of what we come to expect across those. If we do see any choice picks, we will bring those to your attention here, because you have to come in very, very prepared into the final.
Yeah, every talent is as you would expect for this composition. Most notably pointing out Arthas' first talent here, going for the block, not for the regeneration master, which takes a little bit longer to scale into effectiveness, and which is more useful in long and protracted fights, where you can regenerate back to full life, rather than block, which helps against heavy burst, which is definitely what we're going to be seeing here. That these teams will not have a long and drawn-out fight. Either Kerrigan and Arthas are going to destroy everyone in short order, or they're going to fall over like a broken tree.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Synergizes with Kerrigan very well. Kerrigan thrives in the early game. What better way to try and really force the initiative by having a talent that helps you out more so in the early game than later on Regen Master, obviously scaling better as the game goes along.
Now you see the experience advantage of that single takedown is not too big of a deal anymore. Almost identical level 4.
And going to go into the fight here, and it looks like another focus down onto Muradin once again. Navi pick up the second kill onto him. Athero quite in a bit of danger. He will be able to get away. Keeping those gems is very important.
It's easy to get complacent on a strong warrior like Muradin. He has already been taken out twice in what is kind of a greedy, unforced error. Well done by Navi, but they're simply capitalizing on the opponent's mistakes. It could be here on the Grand Finals day that Team Dignitas needs some time to warm up here, but you are not going to get that time too much. Zarmany needs to make sure he's going to play it a little bit safer here.
You noticed before, even when ADRD was almost hit by the Lunar Flare, Hunter's Mark even follows it up. Even if they don't connect with the Lunar Flare, there's always the potential of them trying to get that kill and burst down. That's what Navi's really relying on, these potential follow-ups from every single little stun.
And that's the confidence they have in each other with the practice that they've had playing together. They expect that they need to follow up, and they just have to believe and rely on each other in such a way.
All right, well, for now, pace has slowed down here for a moment. Still level 5 against 5. We will be nearing those level 7 talents pretty soon. That's the Pro G, just chilling out towards the middle. They've got to be careful about this, though. Zarmany has moved forwards, tried to land the stun on JPL. He did get it, but there's no follow-up from there.
Now, Zeratul is a very strong melee assassin with a very impactful heroic ability in Void Prison, but in these early phases of the game, he doesn't have the same value, the same staying power as a solid damage dealer, healer, or even a warrior. So note that he's just occupying the bottom lane here and not doing too much. His power spikes come at level 10 and 13, and that's when we'll see him do more. Almost getting Splendor there.
Yeah, very, very close. Meanwhile, there's a fight towards mid here, and there's a good combo in from Kerrigan. They're going to try and blow out Jaina. He will end up going down very, very quickly, will ADRD, and they're looking for more. As you can see, Alex the Pro G still slowing people down, and it looks like Zarmany was able to get out, but once again, another kill over to Navi.
Now, there's one big thing to look at here. If Splendor dies and overextends against Zeratul, all those 19 gems will be lost. No one else can get there on time, but in the meantime, in the middle here, you see an attempted payoff. 38 gems in the bank already for Navi. 2 more and they will summon the Web Weavers.
I like what Team Dignitas did with the draft. They took the Muradin first, trying to take away as many stuns as possible from Navi, but you can still see that Navi still has a lot available to them throughout the draft, so they've got to be careful here.
Yeah, plenty of stuns and roots still in the game for them, but it's Team Dignitas that pays for the Web Weavers first, so this might be what they need, playing the objective to get a little bit back into this game here.
They should be able to get some towers with this, right? And that will catch them up in a little bit of experience. At least they're not lacking behind like a full level. They've got themselves the level 7s in here. And once again, it is that kind of regen build that we're seeing from Snitch, which is also Korean-esque, but also powerful.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of iterations of Zeratul builds in the recent times, and now we see a big emphasis on regeneration. Recognizing that Zeratul isn't the invisible assassin anymore that he used to be. People have a strained eye, the hawk eye, to look out for him, and even he must be as safe as possible so that he can land the best
the Sentinel! What a kill by Tyrande, bringing down Zeratul.
All the regeneration in the world, not enough to save him from that Sentinel.
Brilliant stuff, and that gives them much more room to clean up these Web Weavers with Zeratul down. It doesn't matter about Peekaboo for now. Zeratul, we know exactly where he is. He's dead.
Wow. All right. Now, we look at Rhaegar's level 7 talent. This is going to be key in the major engagements. He can free someone from a single stun and deny its reapplication for 2 seconds with 50% effectiveness. So all stuns are going to be cut in half those 2 seconds after the usage of Cleanse. It's not easy to see it when it happens, but that is going to be key to remove some of that stun. But there's a lot from Navi, and their teamwork has shown to be incredible in the previous games of this tournament.
Yeah, they've got to be so quick about it, so quick. So the thing is, as well as the ancestral healing that Rhaegar has available to him, there's so much burst on the side of Navi as well. So if somebody does get stun locked down by stuns, Cleanse might not even be enough. They might be dead before it can even really do much.
Yeah. Web Weavers have been summoned for Navi. They're half a level ahead of Team Dignitas. They've got the Web Weavers. There's many ways to play this. They're choosing to be a 4-man in the middle with Brightwing farming the top. Now, as soon as they are level 10, they have the potential to absolutely jump here on the middle with Brightwing using their face shield on Eternal and jumping into the fight here. They want to get this fort, and any pickup of kills here is going to be a huge bonus.
Here come level 10s. We have Blink heal. We have Army of the Dead being taken. Phoenix as well as Maelstrom. Finally Starfall rounding things out, already guaranteeing themselves the kill of this fort. There's no way Team Dignitas can save this.
A little bit of overkill there with the Phoenix, but they definitely wanted to get it and rotate to the top. Ethereal Angel, Iron Skin, and we'll be able to get away.
Very, very nicely done. Just being able to pop that, make sure he's not going to be dealt with at all. That's one target they don't necessarily want to be jumping on, right? With the Iron Skin being available all the time there for Johanna, well, almost all the time. It almost feels like it has no cooldown sometimes. It's very, very powerful.
Splendor there on the Brightwing. Showed some amazing Brightwing play yesterday in the semifinals. The match that qualified them for BlizzCon.
And stun goes on to Zarmany. Not really many follow-ups there at all. As you can see, Shrimpy was up to the top, and he was being attacked there by ADRD and Athero, so doesn't want to be lingering around too much in that location. There's the attempt at the gravity lapse. Doesn't quite catch Zarmany.
Flame Strike revealing everyone there in the bushes. The first 9 and 13 gems are starting to be paid. We see Na'Vi kind of yielding the ground here, but they have no real reason to be afraid. They just want to be very meticulous about the way they approach this.
Well, the Lunar Flare misses as Alex the Pro G taking some punishment, but he is the tankiest member here of Navi's lineup, so he should be okay. Not only does he have, Army of the Dead, but previously he's got himself Rune Tap as well, and Death Coil to use on himself. A very sustainable warrior.
See everyone starting to close in on each other. Na'Vi wants to occupy this. They have a lot of gems to pay. They have a lot of at stake actually to lose here. They can't afford an all-out war where they lose their heroes here. At this moment, Arthur's starting to take a lot of damage.
And Infernal's been teleported on towards it, going to try and blow up Zarmany very, very quickly, going for a target they probably didn't expect there. ATRT, likewise also, Zeratul locked out by Halipas. He blinks away. Great escape there by him. Infernal's going to end up going down. Likewise is Arthero from Kael'thas's damage. Great void for Prism to try them all in. Zarmany manages to jump out, and the Proji gets into the Void Prism.
Oh, I saw everyone being dead here.
Yes.
And only one takedown on both sides. What patience Snitch showed there, using his Void Prison for better or worse, locking down the three of them and almost netting themselves. Alex the Pro G there on the Arthur. Snitch with the narrow escape there from the continuous routing chain before. An amazing fight from both sides. They're really looking on point here.
I thought he was dead in that Howling Blast for sure, but the Blink was on the cooldown, off cooldown and good to go. So now they're still delaying them from turning in. They just need like a few more gems here, 7 more. Do Na'Vi to get themselves their own Web Weavers. But Dignitas is coming out of the gates flying here. They're not allowing this to go away. They've got themselves Web Weavers once again.
Blessed Shield is back again, the most impactful heroic which is currently available. As opposed to Navi's Blink Heal. So Na'Vi wisely giving the ground here for now, allowing the blue Web Weavers to be summoned, knowing also that they have a better chance if they wait a little bit to level 13.
Yeah, definitely. That will always help out a lot here, having that extra talent. The more talents Rhaegar gets towards his Chain Heal, for example, with Healing Surge and Tidal Wave coming in at 13 and 16, means that he is such a powerhouse with that kind of healing per second output. Because it gets on like 5 seconds once you get through to those level 16 talents, as long as your team is all in the same location.
As Zarmany jumping in there on the Tyrande, she is healing for herself with the Lunar Flare.
Yeah, good disengage there from JPL and Shrimpy to make sure that they're not going to die off. They have to clean up the Web Weaves elsewhere. This fort is taking a lot of damage. Here comes Infernal though from the left-hand side, trying to get the grass. ATRD dodges out of it. Splendor's going to take a lot of damage, and he just ends up going down. That's the Brightwing down here, so they're probably going to have to disengage unless they can continue on. JPL blinks up forwards there from the Snitch to try and get onto Kael'thas. Does manage to grab him. There's the combination though onto Zeratul. He will end up falling as well. Bakery has to get into the Ghost Wolf, make sure he's going to get out of there and try and keep ADRD as well as Zarmany alive. To say that they lost Brightwing at the start of that fight, they still did a really good job, did Na'Vi.
Yeah, that's sick. Nice dodge there with the Dwarf Toss, going into unstoppable mode and missing the Lunar Flare. Shrimpy has really been on point all tournament, and especially today with his Tyrande. Excellent Lunar Flares, and to salvage this fight and getting a 2-for-2 after Brightwing practically dies immediately is just a wonderful, wonderful performance there by Na'Vi.
And that's the scary thing as a Brightwing when you are playing at this kind of high level play. Even at lower level plays, you've got to make sure your opponents don't have like really good stun cooldowns. So when you blink in towards the front lines to heal someone, and then you leave yourself a little bit vulnerable. That's exactly what happened to Splendor there, and unfortunately he caught the wrong end of it.
And who's he going to jump on? He just teleported to Kerrigan.
Yes.
The other 3 allies were stuck in the Void Prison, so that was pretty much all that they could do. Now, Na'Vi's going to have to be careful with their positioning. It was the 3 of them stuck behind Kerrigan and Brightwing, and that's exactly the situation that Snitch is going to be looking for on his Zeratul.
And then we're seeing the Web Weavers coming along now here for Navi. So that will be the first set of Web Weavers that they've been able to acquire. But look how even it is in terms of experience at the moment. 14.5 to 14.5. Really, really close game here. And, you know, as much as a lot of people were favoring Navi, Dignitas giving them a good run for their money so far.
Yeah, and in fact, with a hero, I dare say, with a hero like Kerrigan and Brightwing, they're very good at the early game. We have seen some excellent late game play by Kerrigan, so I'm sure Eternal has what it takes to continue to keep up in the later phases of the game. But I would say that once Hardened Shield comes out for Muradin and Kerrigan has to contend with these other heroes at a later level with relative parity and equality in the game, Kerrigan composition is going to fall off a little bit.
Definitely.
So Team Dignitas is doing really well, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that yesterday for Team Navi against Gamers 2 on exactly the same map with a Kerrigan. It wasn't as easy for them to round out the game later on in that game. They admittedly believe that they had a few mistakes, sure, but at the same time, you're definitely right. It does fall off a bit.
Now, Navi is looking to get level 16 here before the next major engagement. And Kerrigan going with the new build, which has been made possible since the recent patch with lingering essence there, lingering shields. ADRG taking some heat here, Ancestral healing an ice block.
Very, very well done to be able to keep himself alive. The combination here for Kerrigan is on cooldown for a few more seconds. Eternal trying to push on towards Zeratul, though. They do manage to pick him up despite the Void Prison trying to save him. Eternal also has a lot of shields during all of this, so even if they were to try and counter-engage onto Eternal, it wouldn't have gone right, and they're going straight to boss with that level 16 Talon.
They're starting the boss here. Muradin is going to scout for it, but they are not in a position to cancel it.
I love the adaptation at level 16 as well by Brightwing. No real need for the shield dust to come along, or what is it?
Bouncy dust.
The bouncy dust to come along. So go for Critterize here against a composition that's less heavy on spell damage.
Yeah, the greater polymorph allows your polymorph to be, instead of a 1.5 second period, it's going to be a 2.5 second period. And there's even the chance to expand upon that at level 20 if you forfeit the defensive talents to go for rewind in the second one. Muradin from 100% to 0.
That was absolute domination there of Muradin, and he's one of the tankiest characters in the game. Exploded in an instant there by Navi.
Yeah, you can't make use of that avatar and stone form healing formats if you are fully stunned. Navi is so good with those stuns, and Muradin, he's even the pick that was supposed to take away the massive stuns from Navi. And he's paying for his audacity of joining Team Dignitas' side.
He's the betrayer, basically. Of all people, Muradin in the lore is an extremely loyal guy. And yeah, he's turned out to be the betrayer for Navi, and he's been punished for it, for sure. As we do have now these Web Weavers still pushing on now here. They're going to be able to clean up the middle one, but down towards the bottom, that's quite a powerful push that they've got going on towards this wall.
Web Weaver still pushing the top. Where will Team Dignitas choose to defend? They're going to pile on down here. The flank by Ethereal Angel on the Johanna.
Ooh. If you can get in there with a good Condemn on that flank, it's very cool, but they were already checking for that. Here comes the Condemn on in here from Athero. He's actually popped his Iron Skin already. Look at the shields on JPL at the moment from the Arcane Barrier. And Athero gonna have to get out of there. He pops his Blessed Shield to try and stun them out while all of that was going on. There's the Void Prison though. Can they kill someone off during this? Good Ice Block there from Jaina to keep him alive. Athero gets hit by Ancestral Healing. They managed to kill off Jaina though during all of that. Great kill by Navi and also onto Bakery as well as Zarmany. They're all in trouble. Rhaegar goes down and it looks like Muradin may end up falling on the back, but he's trying to get away.
Oh, this was such a difficult fight for Bakery. He was down there on the Rhaegar, all the way at the south side of the map, and he had two of his allies needing his help at the top, but he was sectioned off by the enemy Web Weavers as well as heroes, and he could not get close enough. He had to make a decision. Ancestral healing Jaina, who was almost certainly going to die anyway, and he wisely chose to heal someone else, but it was just too messy for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, why, as you say, wisely choosing to pick someone else, because we've had that happen before.
Yes.
Divine Palms have gone off on people that were guaranteed to die anyway. Why try and go for that if they are as out of position as they would be in that kind of team fight?
It takes experience to do that. Kerrigan was right next to Jaina with 15% of her life, and Ancestral healing her wouldn't have helped. I was really looking at him in that fight to see how he'd do it, and it was a good choice, but it was a choice between hard and very hard.
Yeah, very difficult. And now Hard Camp is going to be taken towards the middle, and likewise over on the other side. Hard Camp, also a tribute called Bruiser Camps here in Heroes of the Storm, and will be pushing on against one another. Usually you see them trying to clean up their opponents so that they can push a little stronger, but that's a lot of gems they're going to be turning in here.
Now, Team Dignitas is under pressure here to try and finish it off before level 20 comes around for Navi. They want to force a fight here, but there's only so many ways that you can force a fight. You can can try to pretend to take the boss. Well, it's not currently available.
Yeah.
Or you can try to occupy the middle point and try to occupy the gems. Don't allow the opponent to pay and you pay. That is one way. Or you do a vanilla style attack on the opponent's fortifications, but that's too risky at this moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're sharking around here, hoping that Na'Vi oversteps their boundaries and goes outside. But it doesn't look like it's happening.
And we can see that Eternal there has used his grasp, so it's going to be off cooldown, on cooldown for a little while here whilst they get themselves a fort. A little bit of extra experience coming in for Dignitas. Na'Vi just doesn't want to fight at the moment. They're just back off.
It's funny, right? Like, they're up a level, they have slightly more damage, more auto attack damage, more spell damage, more HP in relation to it, but it is better for them to wait to level 20. Get those storm tier talents, get the storm shields, the bolts of the storm, and so forth.
Yeah, definitely. Especially for an Arthas who is a solo tank here effectively, to try and have Hardened Shield available to him. If you've got that, you're almost guaranteed not to die against a team that doesn't have... As long as you're going 5v5, it's such a strong cooldown to have there for the solo tank.
Exactly. Now Sentinel revealing them there at the bottom. Level 20 is all about just reach for Na'Vi. Let's see what they're going to be getting. Bolt of the Storm, a fight breaks out.
ADRD taking a lot of damage there, but they're actually going to be able to blow Kale Pass already. That's the perfect little opportunity for them to try and get into this. Snitch under a lot of pressure. Does he have Blink? No, he does not. He ends up going down already. So that's 1 for 1 at the moment. They have level 20 talents here. Do Na'Vi. So that's going to help them out a whole lot with Athero. Very, very far away from his team at the moment. Alex the Prodigy likewise was. He ends up getting blown up. There's the Ancestral heal on Athero. This is the perfect opportunity for them to try and counter and put on some kind of pressure.
What a back and forth fight here. Brightwing taking the second polymorph there with the rewind. I can't believe that Team Dignitas turned this around. They deleted Kael'thas excellently with the Void Prison, shutting down the rest, but the Blessed Shield missed. They were still down a level. Kerrigan came out of the Void Prison, hungry for blood, hunted down Snitch, took him down, and then somehow Arthas was too far ahead, and he was tanking 3 people without Hardened Shield already.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
How did he get a keep?
That's fantastic here for Dignitas in game number 1. That's a lot of experience going over towards them. I don't think they want to go too further forwards, though, because Kael'thas died so early in that fight. He will be back before they were able to reach the core properly.
Yeah, at this point, they're just going to go back here, maybe destroy the wall, deny the vision of the opponent. No, they're just going to telegraph their movement. No, he's going to destroy the wall. Now, look at this. That wall has seen them go up here. They're doing this probably on purpose. Well, okay, they're going to go in there now, and this is pretending that they're going to do the boss. They're even making it more real, because if they don't, Sentinel, of course, is going to reveal them. Now, Sentinel still has vision until in 3 seconds, but they've pulled back, so Na'Vi knows that they've gone back already. They had the potential actually to stay for 3 seconds longer and really pretend that they're there and then set a trap. But they went away quickly enough so everyone knows actually what's happening, and Team Dignitas is going to play this safely.
Yeah, it's a scary place to fight. Even if you're setting a trap, it's very, very confined space. And if you're going up against something like a Kerrigan with that combo, you can potentially have 2 or 3 people hit in that area despite you setting the trap. So you don't want to take those kind of risks here. Very, very scary.
All right. Continued gems are starting to be paid by Team Dignitas. Na'Vi now up a level. It's a little bit of stats difference, but they have the same talents. Alex the Prodigy gonna get Blessed Shielded here.
Oh, there's a condemn on towards Alex the Prodigy as well. Phoenix has already been thrown down as well with being spotted, so they're just gonna back off for now.
That was a huge win for Team Dignitas. Like, they used their Blessed Shield, but both Phoenix and Starfall and Hardened Shield for Arthas are down. So any fight in the next 40 seconds or so would still be on the advantage of Team Dignitas.
It's funny because I was like, has Starfall been used there? And it's like, well, okay, it only shoots if there's something in it. And I saw the circle, I'm like, oh, okay, it has been used because there's just nothing in it, so it didn't do any damage.
It was like a Venn diagram. You had Starfall there, you had the Phoenix.
Oh well. So that is down for a little bit longer. Phoenix feels like it has almost no cooldown in this game.
It's back already. Blessed Shield will follow shortly.
Yeah.
There's one thing to consider too when you're drafting. Like, how many times do you want to fight per minute or per 2 minutes? How short are the cooldowns of your heroics? Blessed Shield can be used with more nonchalance, let's say, as well as Phoenix, than something like Void Prison.
And Starfall has a very long cooldown as well, considering it. But of course, Tyrande is classified as support, so it kind of makes sense that a damage heroic here would have a bit more of a longer cooldown on the support.
Look at the value of Eternal's Kerrigan build there. Very different from what we saw on Cognitive Glorung there in North America. He's a very good Kerrigan player, one of the most famous melee assassins. But this is a very different build. Able to give her yourself a lot of shields before the fight starts. That white bar there.
So scary. That's almost half her entirety of her health, in fact. So as you can see already, JPL with his arcane barrier as well has got himself a lot of access to shields if he needs it, and they're just going to back off. You can see how much this game means to them. They're both playing very, very carefully here. Zarmany, though, ooh, that's quite far forward. Just has to dwarf toss out of there.
Now, since he doesn't have dwarf toss, that means that any fight in the next 5 seconds is going to be extra risky. What the both teams are trying here is baiting out important cooldowns. Alex the Pro G didn't just use Hardened Shield. It looks very similar, but it was the Pixie Dust from Splendor.
Yeah.
They're trying here to pretend to go all in on one of the opponent's available heroes. Oftentimes, that is a warrior, even though they have high health pools.
They're going to boss. The Phoenix actually didn't go the correct way, but Navi's reading into this anyway, knowing that they haven't seen them on lanes at all. So he throws in the Howling Blast there, will be able to spot Johanna. They're going to back off for this, looking for the kill on Twilight Alex the Pro G. Will they be able to get it in time? Starfall has already gone down. They're going to be able to blow Zeratul, though. He went in way too far. Arthuro and ADRD on the retreat on out here, but they're going to be taking big damage. Eternal is on the pursuit as well. There's the Lunar Flare. Invincible has already been popped down towards the bottom. Athero has to get out of there. Zarmany's trying to slow them down with the Storm Shield up towards the top onto Splendor, and somehow, someway, Athero has been able to escape. Great ice block there from ADRD. Great blink as well from the Howling Blast.
Wow, what instant decision making there by Jaina, blocking both of the things that would have instantly deleted her. Ancestral Healing being all off of cooldown. First the Ice Block dodge, and then Bolt of the Storm. Wow.
Really good. We are in for a finals here, Grubby, that's for sure. After this first game, look at Dignitas going toe-to-toe with Na'Vi, who haven't lost themselves a single map here at all during this tournament. Now they're going for boss. This is quite risky themselves here. They're all very clumped up at the moment. Could take big damage from Jen. That's a blizzard in towards the middle of it. Oh, Condemned. That's a lot of AoE damage, but Jen is going to blow up anyway here. Great focus fire from Na'Vi as they chase onto Athero. I think he's going to end up falling.
No indestructible!
And he goes down with a lot of gems falling away as well. That's brilliant pickups from Na'Vi. They made that boss look so real that even I was convinced, to the point where Dignitas lose 2 members.
Yeah, wow. I mean, they needed to try and muscle in with 4 versus 5. At this phase in the game, a boss can be lethal, particularly since the wall is already down. So they did. It was a catch-22. They went to defend and they paid for it dearly.
They're going to be going for the core from this one. There's still 30-40 seconds here on the 2 heroes that are trying to resurrect and get back into the fight. JPL taking some damage here from Bakery on the right-hand side. There's the Void Prism to try and save it. They pick up them Kale fast. Maybe they can be able to stall this out for a little bit longer, but Rhaegar's gone down. Zarmany is very low. He's trying to get on towards Splendor to reduce some of their healing here, but it's already at 75% health. Zarmany's going to be the last one to fall here, and Zeratul trying desperately to reach it, but there's so many minions. There you go. GG. Game number 1 is going to go to Natus Vincere here in the grand finals, and that is a brilliant pickup for them, considering how back and forth that game was.